At 55, Richard Rawlings drops a bombshell. The name that once ruled reality TV with Fast and Loud, Richard Rawlings has now left the world stunned. The man dubbed the grease-slinging cowboy no longer flashes his defiant grin for the cameras or stands in his garage with that fiery stare. Instead, he's dropped a bombshell statement. The raw truth about his shattered marriages, a car collection sold off under the cover of night, and the real reason Discovery Channel ruthlessly axed his iconic show. The glitzy life was just a facade. Beneath it lies a web of fractures, legal phone calls, a $6 million lawsuit that may have changed everything. Richard Rawlings was once the king of the asphalt, but when the wheels of fame spun out of control, what made him flip the game? This isn't just the tale of a car fanatic, it's a suffocating high-octane investigation where every revealed detail feels like a fateful drift around a razor-sharp curve. And now, Gas Monkey Garage's future is finally revealed in ways no fan could have predicted. Richard Rawlings came up in Texas, a place where every day felt like a bare-knuckle brawl, where folks like him had to claw their way to survive. His story isn't some fairy tale, it's a raw lesson in grit and relentless hustle. From the gritty backstreets, starting with nothing but his own two hands, Rawlings built Gas Monkey Garage, a titan in the automotive world. But that triumph didn't come easy. He waded through the muck of setbacks, missed chances, and shadowy connections to get there. Born without a silver spoon, Rawlings forced the world to take notice by turning what little he had into something worth its weight in gold. At 55, with his career soaring and the name Richard Rawlings blazing across TV screens and social feeds, he made a stunning choice to confront the rumors that had shadowed him for years. No more dodging or silence, he stepped into the open, laying bare the events that once set the world abuzz, from hushed lawsuits and broken relationships to questions about how he built the Gas Monkey empire. In a live broadcast speech, Rawlings didn't make excuses. He spoke, deliberately, calmly, about his long skids off course, the mistakes that stole his sleep, and the hard-won lessons that cost him dearly. But when the stage lights dimmed, relief didn't follow. Instead, a fresh wave of questions lingered. Had he truly bared it all, or did he only share the pieces easier to swallow? Richard Rawlings didn't apologize. He just offered his truth, or at least the part he wanted the world to believe was true. As night falls over Dallas, the neon glow of the Gas Monkey Bar and Grill sign still cuts through the dark, but behind the scenes, a legal storm has been quietly brewing. Court records reveal a staggering $6 million lawsuit filed by none other than the bar bearing that defiant monkey logo against Richard Rawlings, the man who turned Gas Monkey into a global icon. The 47-page complaint reads like a noir thriller packed with damning accusations, defamation, breach of contract, internal sabotage, and spreading false financial claims. Its details are chilling, sharp enough to unsettle anyone. Whispers from staff paint Richard as a spoiled 13-year-old with bottomless pockets. In a heated boardroom clash, he boldly declared he'd long been locked out of the bar's financial records, insisting he had no access to review statements or track its cash flow. Yet when police and attorneys pressed him to verify those claims against the system's data, Richard fell eerily silent. No rebuttal, no demand to see the books as an olive branch, just a heavy, suffocating quiet that filled the room. His gaze dodged those around him, as if guarding a secret he wasn't ready to spill. That silence, stark against his earlier defiance, only deepened suspicions about his role in the mess. Is something being hidden? Both sides have clamped down, letting no clues slip to the public. But is this hush a calculated move, or a sign of a fiercer, shadowier battle raging beneath the surface? The plot thickened in 2019 when Richard fired back. He slapped a $1 million countersuit on the bar, charging them with trademark violation for using the Gas Monkey name in events and promos after their contract had expired. More than that, he claimed the bar had tied the brand to activities that tarnished his reputation, a legacy he'd built with sweat and tears. But just how was that reputation damaged? And who's really milking the Gas Monkey name for gain? This feud quickly outgrew the confines of a business spat. Leaked emails, cryptic podcast remarks, and steely glares in closed-door meetings conjure images of a Gas Monkey empire cracking from within. Once Richard's brainchild, a symbol he carried worldwide, what turned it into his adversary? Is this merely a clash of interests, or does it hide a deeper personal betrayal neither side dares to air? Amid this legal tug-of-war, Richard made another move that set tongues wagging. He sold off his legendary car collection. Those weren't just vehicles, they were dreams. The lifeblood of a man who'd lived and breathed cars for decades. Many wondered, did the $6 million lawsuit bleed him dry, forcing him to ditch his passion, or was this a sly gambit? The answer came fast. Richard didn't retreat. He funneled the cash into ultra-luxe rides, Ferraris, Lamborghinis, machines that scream speed, power, and prestige. It felt like a loud declaration: even if Gas Monkey Bar and Grill crumbles, Even as courtroom battles drag on, the fire in Richard's soul still burns fierce. But are these supercars truly a phoenix rising, or just a glossy mask for a deeper wound? The lawsuit's outcome remains shrouded in mystery. No public statements, no disclosed settlements, just silence, as if both sides agreed to bury this dark chapter. Yet what lingers is the look in Richard's eyes whenever Gas Monkey Bar and Grill comes up. The dazzling shine of his glory days has dulled, replaced by a quiet, unnamed bitterness. Has Richard truly moved on without a backward glance? Or does the roar of those supercar engines still carry echoes of a gas monkey that once meant everything to him? This story, it seems, is in a jaw-dropping twist in 2020, with Fast and Loud still dominating Discovery's airwaves. Richard Rawlings made the bold call to part ways with the network, a move that stunned fans when the show was still a ratings juggernaut and the very platform that had launched him to stardom. Why, at the peak of his career, with millions of loyal followers, would he walk away from the spotlight? In interviews, Richard shared that he craved creative freedom, describing his Discovery contract as a leash that stifled his passion and vision. Fast and Loud did its job, he said, his voice steady but his eyes betraying a hint of weariness. For a man like Richard, driven by relentless creativity, that explanation rings true. But was it really that simple? Leaving Discovery was a high-stakes gamble. Fast and Loud wasn't just a TV show. It was the engine that propelled his Gas Monkey Garage empire to global heights. Walking away meant more than shedding fame. It was abandoning a rock-solid foundation. Throughout his life, Richard had always been a risk-taker, selling off everything as a young man, surviving the trauma of being shot in 1990. But this time, the question lingered: what was he chasing? The $6 million lawsuit with Gas Monkey Bar and Grill in 2018 had already rocked his world. Accused of defamation, he hit back with a $1 million countersuit. Could the scars from that legal brawl have fueled his hunger to seize full control? Or was he simply exhausted from bending to the network's demands, yearning to break free from the grind of a corporate machine? His exit from Discovery and Fast and Loud laid bare Richard's restless spirit, a man who never stays still. He doubled down on his passion, pouring money into sleek Ferraris and Lamborghinis, a loud declaration that his fire still burned, just on a different stage. Yet as those supercars roar to life, has he truly left the past behind? Or do the echoes of his glory days and the wounds they carried still trail him like a shadow he can't outrun? Cars never lie, Richard Rawlings once proclaimed, standing amid the grease-stained floors of his workshop, the clang of wrenches echoing and TV lights casting their glow. But the personal life of the Fast and Loud mastermind leaves a far more tangled tale than any car ever rolled through Gas Monkey Garage. In that world, marriages were transactions where emotions sometimes came with receipts, contracts, and signatures. His first marriage to Karen Grames in 1993 lasted a mere year. No kids, no shared property, and barely a memory of the woman herself. Like a prototype car scrapped before it could hit the road. That relationship vanished without a sound, no scandal, no fallout, no mark deep enough to linger in the records. It wasn't until 1999 that Richard embarked on a weightier journey, marrying Suzanne Mergely. They shared a decade, a stretch filled with filming sessions, cross-country business trips, and quiet nights that felt lonely even with someone by his side. Then came divorce. Yet, like a gearhead refusing to give up on a classic, he circled back to Suzanne in 2015, hoping to restore what they'd lost, much like he'd coax rusted relics back to glory in his shop. But when the souls run dry, no amount of fresh oil or a new paint job can make it hum like it used to. Their reunion held for 4 years before they parted ways for good in 2019. Suzanne walked away with $300,000, a Mercedes-Benz SL, and no harsh words. It was a clean break, signed off like a car title transfer, tidy, understated, but leaving a chill in the air, emptier than any garage after dark. That same year, Richard pulled a move no one saw coming. He announced his engagement to Katarina Deason, the ex-wife of billionaire Darwin Deason, who'd sold his tech empire to Xerox for over $6 billion. Their romance sparked a frenzy of speculation, a vintage car mogul and a woman steeped in high society. That's no recipe for a simple love story. Yet their 2020 wedding was hushed. No cheering crowds, no tabloid clamor, no flashing cameras, just Richard once again veering onto a new path, leaving the familiar behind for a journey with no clear map. Looking back at the winding roads of his love life, what stands out isn't the endings, but how he always kept his hands on the wheel even when the pavement turned slick. Amid million-dollar rides, lucrative TV deals, and a name that echoed far and wide, Richard Rawlings always knew how to rule the game. But it's the figures in those divorce settlements, not the speed on the open highway, that lay bare the real cost of his freedom. And maybe, just maybe, the one thing he's never managed to secure is the steady anchor of a family. Behind the glare of the spotlight, Richard Rawlings once embodied triumph and charisma, but backstage a lesser-known tale unfolds. The veiled corners of his life and career have been exposed, from seismic lawsuits and the sale of treasured cars to the highs and lows of his personal relationships. Yet, amid it all, one unshakable truth stands out: his resilience. And maybe, in a world of speed and stardom, the toughest thing to hold on to isn't a car, but yourself. Rawlings didn't hide behind a flawless mask. He faced the public's gaze without flinching, yet never bowed to its judgment. He chose to forge ahead, carrying his scars as proof of a life fiercely lived, not chasing fleeting trophies of fame. He owned his missteps, gleaned wisdom from his failures, and rose from every stumble. It's a testament that true success isn't a parade of victories, it's the strength to weather life's trials. For those who track Rawlings' journey, the takeaway is courage, the bravery to confront raw reality, imperfections and all. It's also a gentle nudge that silence or secrets don't always signal deceit. Sometimes, stillness guards what matters most. In an era where truth can be twisted through the media's lens, holding fast to yourself, your grit, your kindness, your resolve to face the past might just be the noblest rebellion. Richard Rawlings doesn't care if the world adores him. He only asks it to see this. To be a gas monkey, you've got to be willing to burn down the past to keep charging forward. And for all of us, wading through a sea of noise, rumors, and skepticism, the lesson lies in looking deeper, in recognizing that silence doesn't always hide a lie. Amid the clamor and doubt, understanding and respect remain the rarest, most vital treasures. What do you make of these secrets? What caught you off guard the most? Do these rumor confirmations hold up? Drop a comment below to share your take on this jaw-dropping saga. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video. If you found it gripping, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring the bell so you never miss the latest sizzling updates from us.